What's going on, everybody? I'm Dr. P. Welcome back to another video, and thank you so much for stopping back by. Now, today, we just got a pretty big update in the game that proves to be pretty significant for the storyline overall for Season X. We're going to dive into that and much more in this video. Make sure you drop a like if you're new and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. When this video goes up, it's not going to be long until I'm live over on caffeine.tv, so if you want to check out the stream and be a part of it, check out the link in the description below and hit me with a follow. Alright, so if you watched my video I uploaded last night, you'll know that I talked about a new thing that was added to the game called the Rift Beacon, and apparently it was added to the game's coding and has connections to the Nexus, which of course is the giant orb in the middle of Loot Lake. Yesterday, the Rift Beacon was actually added at Neo Tilted, so it was there yesterday, and this thing is moving very quickly. Not only was it added yesterday, but today there was a giant beam of light that protruded out of it going up into the sky. And what do you see when you look up into the sky directly above its position? You see what looks to be the giant crack in the sky that formed back in Season 4 when the rocket teleported away during the event. Wow, that's pretty significant. In case you don't remember, back in Season 4, the rocket actually tried to attack Tilted. Someone or something stepped in and saved it at the last moment, but it still doesn't mean and take away from the fact that Tilted was originally a target for some kind of attack. And now this rift is here in Tilted, and something looks to be locking on to its position again. I can't help but wonder if Tilted could possibly be under some kind of attack very soon. We know, of course, because of leaks, that Tilted Towers, or I guess I should say Neo Tilted, is going to be changing to something called Tilted Town in the very near future. I have pretty much no doubt that whatever's going on right now in Tilted with the Rift Beacon in some way correlates and is related to the upgrading of this place to be Tilted Town. There is some kind of a solar panel, or at least it looks like a solar panel, powering up the Rift Beacon. As you can see, there's a giant cord running all the way from the beacon to the panel. Pretty advanced stuff, I know, but you also got to bear in mind where this is actually taking place. It's taking place in Neo Tilted, which is years more advanced than most other places on the map. Like I said before, this whole thing is moving so fast. We are only 5 days into Season X, and within those 5 days, we've had so many leaks about Dusty Depot changing, about Tilted Towers changing, about the Rift Beacon. Then the Rift Beacon spawned yesterday, and today the rift in the sky has started to be recreated. And here's something else. If you take a look up at the rift right now, you can see an unbelievably strong glaring light, and it looks very similar to the rocket did. It looks very similar in a lot of ways to that, and then again, when I think about it, it all makes just a lot of sense. Remember, in the Season X cinematic trailer, one of the very first things that we lay our eyes on is the Visitor's rocket, and of course, the Visitor is yet again another huge part of this season. We know he is escaped from his capsule. We can see the empty capsule in the meteor. We know he's somewhere loose on the map. There have been theories that the Visitor is working inside of the Dusty Depot, because if you go to the gray warehouse in Dusty, you'll see that there is like a desk set up there, and there are leaked stages of that warehouse getting progressively more advanced as the season goes on. Another theory I think that's pretty plausible is possibly the Visitor, after he escaped from the meteor the second time, came to Tilted, and maybe he is the one that built and set up this Rift Beacon. I mean, there are a number of signs there. The last time that we saw that rift in the sky, it was created as a direct result of the Visitor's actions. Not only that, but that glaring light looks a lot like the rocket did on its way down. And of course, on top of all of that, the location of the attack, or at least attempted attack by the rocket / the Visitor in Season 4 was Tilted. And that's exactly where the Rift Beacon is set up. That's exactly where the crack in the sky is resurfacing. There's a lot of sense to be made here. So I want to talk about something else too. As I'm sure you guys know and have heard, Epic Games has announced that over the course of Season X, the world that you play in today may not be the world that you play in tomorrow. In other words, there are going to be map changes that overtake probably main and major POIs and change throughout the course of the season, which sounds pretty awesome. I showed off in yesterday's video that it looks like we're going to get Flush Factory, Risky Reels, and Moisty Mire back based on a couple of different hints that have been added across the map. Maybe this rift is the key to how all those places are going to return. Of course, I mentioned earlier in the video that Tilted Towers is going to be rechanged to be Tilted Town. We think that's going to be a direct result of the rift beacon because that just makes the most sense, and I can easily see that happening. But let's not forget, we are in some kind of a strange time loop this season. Time has messed up, it's not flowing normally. The Season X slogan is out of time, whatever that means. So let's quickly look at some facts. We know that time is messed up. We also know that somehow the Nexus that exploded restored Dusty Depot, restored the OG factories, and brought back the meteor just moments before the original collision that formed the divot. Effectively, that tiny section of the map was restored to the Season 3 equivalent. Now, 5 days later into Season X, we get the rift in the sky starting to reform. Effectively, that is something that happened in Season 4. About a week ago, when we were getting teasers for Season X, I talked about the possibility of us going through the different seasons and getting stuff back from Seasons 3 through 9. Based on a couple of the teasers we got, it made it seem pretty probable and, in fact, likely. So if we start out with Season 3 stuff right away as soon as the season starts, and then a couple days later ease into Season 4, what could be next? Well, we know the crack in the sky originally was formed by the rocket, and it wasn't long after that until, you guessed it, our boy Kevin the Cube was summoned right out of that rift. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying I think there is a pretty solid chance that we could be seeing Kevin again this season. And I'm not saying that it's a joke. I'm not saying that, just to say it. I know we've been talking about Kevin coming back for a while. We've been talking about the possibility of our beloved Cube coming back to the game. And I think currently, completely honestly, right now is the best time, the best chance we've had of him coming back to the game. It just makes so much sense. We've already seen places and things return from past seasons, and it would not surprise me even a little bit to see Kevin shoot back out of that rift as soon as it forms and gets fully grown. But the question is, how long is it going to take for that rift to actually get to full size? Because if you'll recall, the original rift in the sky back in Season 4/5 was incredibly huge, and right now it's just starting to go up in the sky, and you can really not even compare the sizes right now. If you want my guess as to how long it's going to take to form, I would guess, and this is purely a guess, that it's not going to take very long. I'd say probably like 4 to 5 days at most, maybe sooner, maybe longer, but I'd say somewhere around 4 to 5 days, just for the simple fact that we are 5 days into Season X. We've already gotten so many leaked data mined files telling us almost exactly what's going to happen. We've already had this rift beacon form, and then not only form, but the very next day start creating this rift in the sky. And I guess it makes a lot of sense why it's called a rift beacon, because it literally is creating a rift. Remember, in yesterday's video, when I was originally talking about this beacon, I said that in the files, it looks like it's under an event tab. So whatever's going on with this beacon is probably directly linked to whatever sort of live event or event we're gonna get later on in this season. So just like Season 9, Season X starts out very early, right out of the gate, teasing the next upcoming live event. If you remember, Season 9, the Caddis's eye was inside of the iceberg, literally about a week into the season. So weeks 2 all the way through the end of the season, we were talking about that final showdown fight and what would come of that. And now it looks like in Season X, all the way from 5 days in to the end of the season, we're going to talk about what's going on with this rift and how it relates to an event, how it relates to the storyline, how it ties everything together, and just so much more. Personally, I'm really excited to see Tilted Town because I think Neo Tilted was good. I mean, it was very good and fun, but I think it has worn down after a while, and I think Tilted Town is going to help revert the towers to what it was more like during the original Tilted Towers days, so I'm really excited about that. definitely let me know what you're most excited for this season based on the leaks and what it looks like is going to happen. Listen, if you're new to the channel, that's okay, I forgive you. I promise I forgive you, but now that you're here, you might as well go ahead and subscribe so you never miss out on any future Fortnite news, updates, speculation, theories, and just so much more. We have a great time on the channel. Of course, leave your theories in the comments. I would love to feature as many of you guys as I can. Be sure to check me out on Caffeine if you want to be a part of the live stream. I'd really appreciate that. And without any further ado, I'll let you guys go. I'll catch you in the next video. Make sure to take it easy, stay cool, and peace out.